What a weird god. I never imagined he'd bring that up. I tried to keep them all from telling you. Why? I thought you'd be uncomfortable. Yago gossip should just be ignored until it fades away. Don't let it get to you. He is right, Liao. You shouldn't just keep waiting until something bad happens. So let's set off in Miali as soon as possible. Senpai, please. Also, we get along very well. I could be with Liao forever. I don't know. Please don't say things like that. Leopard raises a paw and gently taps Senpai on the head. He didn't seem to use any force at all, but Senpai played along and became stunned. I looked back at the picnic and the bento. Ragu had already taken a bite. Could anyone else still want to eat it? The cats never eat food that another god has touched. When I asked Senpai about it, he said it's because when a god touches food, the god's smell stays on the food, and that definitely won't make the food delicious. But it was only one bite, so maybe they could still eat the rest. So, what do we do about the bento? None of the cats said anything, but none seemed to want bento anymore. Oh man. We're all in the mood, but I should still eat my lunch. I did make it for myself after all. I picked up my chopsticks and looked down at the bento. All pieces of roasted meat were still in there in a tidy row, but I couldn't help but recall how Ragu picked one up and ate it. Calming myself, I thought that Ragu was correct. It would not help to postpone making a decision. Nothing good will come from just waiting, and especially for Senpai, his powers are diminishing quickly, an early decision is vital. I always thought I could keep this up until graduation, but now it seems the time is running out. But big decisions shouldn't be made too hastily. This is my life we're talking about, and I should do what's best for me. If I refuse all three, I should do it sooner rather than later. However, if it was so easy to make them leave, then I wouldn't have to be all stressed out about it. What do? I raised my chopsticks, about to snap up some lunch, when suddenly a paw swiftly picks up a piece of meat. Grabs it. Delicious. Okay. According to the expression on his face, it was not delicious at all. I wanted to try it, so I picked up the piece that Leopard just took the chi from and placed it on my tongue. Yeah, it's too salty. I wasn't sure how much soy sauce to use. Now I know the consequences. Because it had gotten cold, it had also gotten a little bit too oily. It was better when eaten together with rice, but still couldn't be considered delicious. I tried the rest of the meal. The fried veggies tasted a bit metallic and the biscuit was soggy, but it wasn't that bad. It just wasn't tamagayaki anymore. So, I was thinking about how it didn't turn out well when Leopard snatched up 2 more pieces of meat. Is it okay for you to eat this after the God of Soul already had a bite? Because Liao made it. It's not that good though. Because Liao made this. You don't have to force yourself. Because Liao made this. Alright, fine. That same sentence 3 times. I think this happened once before. It's okay, someone's already touched it, and it's not even that good. You really don't need to force yourself. But I want to eat. I looked down at the bento. It's not good, nor does it even look good. Leopard took another piece of meat, and got some of the vegetables. He never eats veggies. Here he was taking another mouthful and then another. It seemed like he was slowly eating the whole thing. I followed his lead, and slowly ate the whole thing, and then put the lid back on the box. After we were done eating, I packed up the leftover trash, so to keep the nature clean. Senpai pulls out a bottle of juice and passes it to me. I take a swig, lay down on the rock under the tree to enjoy the mountain scenery. A few clouds gathered over a far mountain, creating a fog of many different shades of white and grey that parted to give an occasional glimpse of the forest underneath. It's already spring, but on the mountain it's still a bit cold. I'll zip up my jacket and let myself relax a little bit. Some flower petals drift down onto my shoulders, and I brush them off onto the picnic blanket. Liao, how about bringing some flower petals home? Back home? Where would we put them? I look at the flower petals on the picnic blanket. Senpai made them blossom especially for me. The flowers that fell have no stems, so I couldn't even put them in a flower vase on a table. Oh, flowers like this can be put to float on a plate with some water. They should keep nice for a few days. Really? I imagine flowers floating lazily on a plate of water on the bookshelf. It could actually be very pretty and tranquil. How could we get them home without crushing them? They get crushed in the bag, but if we wash the bento box and put them in the box, then they'd smell like food. I don't bring any dish soap. Who would bring soap on a picnic? It would have made more sense to bring an extra box. Senpai gathers the flower petals into a small pile, about the size of a fist. They were beautiful, but I couldn't imagine how to keep them pristine during the trek back home. I watched Senpai gently gather up flowers and thought about what to do when Leopard suddenly jumped over to the tongue tree. Okay, Leopard whisks the petals out of the air, then places his paw underneath as if to catch them. However, none of the petals land on his paw, they just stay floating in the air just above. Oh yeah, Lickalao, that was a nice move. A move that wastes a lot of power. Leopard keeps the flowers floating over his paw and looks around for something. Then Senpai comes over with his backpack. Clout, can you keep the flowers floating around inside my bag? Yep. All the way down the mountain? Yep. Yeah, 3 cheers for Clout. We can take them home like this. Senpai danced happily around Clouded Leopard. It's nice to be able to take the flowers home, but is it necessary to be so excited about it? Ah, Liao's gonna decorate the room with these flowers. Yeah, I will. And whenever you see the flowers, you'll think of me. Why would I? Because I'm the one who thought to bring them home. Well, it's actually Leopard who found a way to bring them home. Don't you think I'm more flowery? How so? Okay, that upset him. I let Senpai stay frozen in shock and helped Leopard open the bag so he could float the petals inside. Liao likes flowers. I guess so, but it's a long way to get here, so I wish to bring back some as souvenirs of the trip. I closed the bag back up. It seems just like a normal bag. Are the flowers really floating around inside? Are they not going to get crushed during the trek home? I'm not so sure, but Leopard's face remains unchanged, so I guess it's okay. Now that we got our souvenirs, should we head back now? But it's still so early. Are there any more places you want to see then? We can try that trail and see if it leads us to any pretty place. That may be, but it took us a while to get here, and I was worried about going too far. The paths were paved nicely, but I'm still afraid of getting lost. We don't know where these paths lead. What if we walk until it gets dark and can't find our way back? It's only a little bit past noon, but I don't want to go too far from the metro. I guess you're right, we wouldn't want to get lost out here. We can go back to the metro and check the shopping. Alright. Senpai and I planned the trip back down the mountain, and no one said anything about the recent encounter with the weird god of soil. It would have been too awkward of a topic to discuss. Well then, I guess it's time to go back to the metro. I didn't answer. I just set to packing up the remains of the picnic and the trash, then called the 3 cats to follow me back down the mountain. Because the path was narrow, we walk a line down the path. Walking in the line doesn't make it easy to chat, but I also believe that everyone had some things to ponder on privately. It's a lot more silent than on the way up, but I couldn't think of any way to start any kind of nice conversation. Raguse said that the other Yagois think that I'm keeping 3 cats on purpose to take advantage of them. I don't know any of those Yagois, so I shouldn't really care about what they think, but the way they've mistaken my situation has me feeling a little bit peeved. And I do care what the 3 cats think. Do they think I'm just keeping them around for my own selfish reasons? I don't think that they do, at least not Senpai. He's the one who tries to turn all conversations into romantic topics, it's not me. Although it is true that by not promising to go with him, I am keeping him around to keep courting me. Tiger and Leopard couldn't think that way, could they? Tiger knows my troubles, but he has stayed emotionally detached. Leopard doesn't speak much, but he's always there when I need him. Could it just be because he wants me to go with him, or could it be more? Does he even know what homosexuality is? Raguse said that gods don't have set genders. In his own eyes, could Leopard be a girl? Would that be better, or more weird? Leopard seems very naive, and couldn't possibly have those kinds of thoughts, but I've been holding him back on making a promise, so what does he think? If I go with him to Wutai, what kind of relationship will we have? Should I ask him what he really thinks, if I get the chance? I look up at my entourage, walking single file down the narrow and winding mountain path. There's some distance between each of us, so I thought perhaps now would be a good time to ask. But this topic is an awkward one to bring up. Okay. We're still with Leopard. Let's go. I hesitate for a second, then speed up so I could line up behind Leopard. Leopard saw me come and stand close behind him, didn't say a word. He just keeps on moving forward silently, and it makes me feel calm with no reason. We rode for a while, and I organised my thoughts enough to try and say something. Leopard, the things that Brother Lagu said, did you understand any of it? Leopard seemed to be thinking. Most of it. So, Do you feel like I've been keeping you with me on purpose? Leopard shook his head. Liao is stressed. I know Liao needs to think. Thank you. I'm glad that Leopard understands my point of view. If he believed those rumours, things would have been too awkward between us. He doesn't think I'm taking advantage of him, but does he know that I may have feelings for him? I feel like he's very innocent and probably doesn't think those kinds of thoughts. Or is it that he's naive? It can make questions difficult to ask. Do you have anything you want to say? Leopard seems to have something to say, but he's keeping himself from saying it, and I couldn't wait anymore to hear it. Liao. Must come soon. I'm scared. Come to Wutai? Why? Something bad happened. What could happen? Summer, much rain, much wind. Summer, well, you mean a typhoon? Yeah. There are typhoons each year. How is this year different? The land could run. Land could run? Oh, like a landslide. Yeah. Do you know when it could happen? I don't know. I'm scared. It's dangerous. I get it. You think that this summer there could be a landslide, so you want me to warn the townspeople? Yes. But if I suddenly run over talking about landslides, would anyone believe me? I know where the landslide's gonna run. Even so. Need to be fast. Liao must go. I help. People will believe you. So he wants me to go over sooner and earn the people's trust. I'll just be a hand kid that left school to go warn of landslides. It's doubtful anyone would believe me. I've got no connection to those people. It's like Tiger said, if I had the power to be helpful, then I should help the people of my own hometown. I also feel that I don't have much of a connection to the Mazu worshippers of my own town, because I've not even met any of them before. Alright, I get it. I'll think about it. When the first typhoon strikes this summer, I'll contact your tribe. Think about it. I do have a friend who is Rukai. I can let Jihao help me warn his people about the landslide. They probably believe him if he sends the message. I thought to talk to him about it when we get home. Liao, you're not gonna come? I'm not sure yet. Let me think about it, okay? If there's any real danger, I'll do my best to help. I'm nervous. I know, but I shouldn't leave school during the first year. I also think it may not be best if I go. I can do my best, but if the people don't believe me, then it'd be useless. Liao will come. I'll help. They'll believe. You can help make them believe me, maybe, but please give me more time, okay? The school may not even let me take a leave of absence so soon. I'd need my family's permission to go there during the summer, because without their help, I've got no money for the trip. There's still much time until typhoon season comes. I'll do my best to help. Please don't be so nervous, okay? Okay. Leopard still seemed nervous, but tried his best to give me a smile. It was very emotional for me to see him smile, but I still couldn't make any promises. I couldn't possibly just suddenly run myself over to Wutai, so it would be irresponsible to promise such a thing. We hiked down the mountain in silence, but when we got back to the metro station, Senpai started happily browsing around the stalls, picking out snacks to buy. Even Tiger couldn't help but want some too. With our spirits lifted again, we bound over to board the bus home.